Okay, guys, the game has just finished and Scotland has lost to France. France came through with a strong performance, especially within that second half, beating them 35-16 in the end. And what a bloody spectacular day in Paris is going to be. France are going to be over the moon. There's going to be parades late on into the night, and oh my word, what a bloody spectacular game. So before we break it down, please like and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow. And yes, France are officially Six Nation champions. They managed to do it without the great Dupont, and Maxime Lucu put in such a bloody performance. There's been a couple records broken here, which I'm going to go through. And France, they showed what they were worth. They had a very difficult first half. Scotland really made them work for it, kept them in check. But ultimately, come the second half, all we saw was France really come through. We started to see forwards start to stack on early on into that second half. I think it was around the 50th odd minute that we started to see forwards, start coming on. We started seeing players like Marchand. We started seeing players like Mia Fowl and so on, and then all we started to see is that that dominance from the forwards. They really started to pack on that pressure, and all we started to see was those forwards breaking that gain line, retaining possession constantly, and just Maxime Lucu just working that ball as he was playing it. And all we started to see was Scotland start retreating and retreating and retreating. And the likes of Duhan van der Merwe, he tried his best. Tom Jordan tried their best. They just weren't able to handle that final pressure. So, yeah, I would say Scotland were a little bit unlucky in the first half. Yes, a couple of things didn't go their way. I want to know what you guys think in relation to that Malvaka incident where he originally got a yellow card, but it was not upgraded into a red. Do you think that there was head contact there? It was, the angles were a little bit difficult. Personally, I don't feel that there was head contact, and I think the referee's decision was correct because obviously we saw Thomas Ramos push the player into Malvaka, and then Malvaka kind of, retaliated from there because he thought he was stepping over him. But I didn't see any form of head contact. I felt that that Scottish player overreacted, put his hand to his mouth once he, saw any form of, contact even coming close to him. But personally, there could have been head contact, but I didn't see any from the angles that were shown in the game. But yeah, there were a couple incidents, disallowed tries for Scotland, which really could have changed the complete nature of the game, especially as the disallowed try came just on the brink of half time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in relation to that. What do you think? Should it have been awarded? Was the referee right to disallow that try? Honestly, I'm in two minds in relation to that. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think that it was the right decision? Because that could have changed the entire nature of the game. That could have changed the entire makeup, and we could have potentially seen a different ending to this game. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below in relation to that, because that was a real game changing decision there that was made by the ref, and I'm not sure if it was entirely, uh, you know, if it was entirely given. So let's break down the tries and penalties. Then we're going to go into the records that were broken. So Mofana coming in with 2 tries, and what an absolute beast Mofana is. The guy he just played his socks off. The day that you want Mofana to be having a solid game, this was today. He was so strong, so quick. We saw in the second try just how powerful he was to really gain that territory, push those players back, and then still have the power to grab that ball and put it down on the try line. But yeah, he had a bloody spectacular game. Then we have the one and only Biel Biarre, who he did equal I think it was low. Um, yes, it was low. And I think we also there was Ian Smith as well, both on 8 tries, but back then it was the 5 nations, not the 6 nations. So technically they did it with 1 game less, but by no means is this any less of a feat. The guy is bloody phenomenal. And then we had Ramos coming in with a try for himself and absolutely setting the tone. Ramos ended up getting a conversion, three conversions and three penalties, which really set everything in motion. We've seen Tomo Ramos just destroying the record, becoming French's highest points player with highest points, and yeah, they were absolutely phenomenal. And then I think France either equaled or surpassed England's most tries within a single Six Nations record as well, which has been held for over like 2 decades. But all in all, it was an absolutely stunning performance. BLBRA was just electric. He was a nightmare to handle. We saw in the build up to Ramos, in the build ups to Mofana's try, he was just a constant threat. Yes, he wasn't as present as always, but honestly, Scotland had such a good performance. They played so well that they really made it very difficult for France to do anything. Um, I mean, we had Dave Cherry who played bloody brilliantly as well. Um, Tom Jordan, Hugh Jones was just, you know, they were on form, but unfortunately they did get beaten by a better side today. France were just better. Yes, France um, had a lot of yellows earlier in the first half, but ultimately that 7-1 split came into effect. All we started to see in that second half is where things started to go south for Scotland. Those heavy forwards started to come in. They put so much pressure on that Scottish defensive line and just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. From the rucks to the mauls, we saw just how strong France were with the mauls. Um, they they were almost unbeatable at points. Finn Russell, though, he had a pretty game, but again, he started off so bright. He was there, he was leading the team. He was making some brilliant passes, brilliant plays, bringing others into the game. But come the second half, we started to see mistakes, missed passes, and it just it just didn't fall Scotland's way today, unfortunately. France were just too strong. And then when they started to bring in those forwards, oh, all we started to see was Scotland decline and get under more pressure. And, you know, when you have the likes of Mia Fowl being brought on the 50th, 60th minute, when your legs are on fire, because you've been running, your head's probably banging around because, you've just gotten smashed by some French forwards. And then you see the likes of Mearfowl come in, and you're like, okay, what the hell am I supposed to do now? This is not fair, you know? And the players, they came on and they performed so bloody well. And they were all in sync. They just had everything locked down. And Galtier, he played this game perfectly, as he has done a lot of the Six Nations. And you got to think the only hiccup that they had was England, in which case they lost by a ball hair. So there were all this talk about Ireland winning the Six Nations, winning the Grand Slam, but ultimately we look at France's run, who ultimately derailed Ireland. Their only loss came to England, in which case I believe they lost by 1 point. But otherwise, they got bonus points for the rest of the um, for the rest of the Six Nations. They were outscoring everybody. They were just absolute phenomenal players playing in such a well drilled team. So now you think the players that are playing here, they are a good amount of them are playing for Toulouse and in the top 14. But then we think, okay, we're now looking to next year. The players. You look at Giard, who was just putting in an absolute stellar performance. What, he's early 20s, and he was keeping Miafau out of the squad because of how well he was playing. You look at Biel, who he's 22 years old. He's already matched Cyril Lowe's record for 8 tries in a single season, and he's only getting better. You see the likes of Thomas Ramos, who's France's all-time point scorer. He's 29. So these players have barely cracked 30, and we still have so much to see from France that it's just, they are going to be such a scary side come 2027. And as a Springbok, I'm scared of this France side. I really, really am, because you look at how well that they are playing. It really, really is scary. And then there's all the talk of when France go to New Zealand. There was all this talk on, oh, there's not going to be any um, a lot of the big stars are not going to be sent there. But you look at all the talent that France has, the serious talent that France has, is not necessarily classified as, superstars as your first team. These guys are monsters. So they are still going to be putting up a giant fight up against the All Blacks. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out. But France were deserved winners of the Six Nations. They were consistent throughout the entire Six Nations. They played some of the most beautiful rugby around. Well, in my opinion, they played the most beautiful rugby in the entire Six Nations. Um, yes, it was a shame to see Antoine Dupont go out injured, and I would have loved to see him play in this game. But ultimately, Luku, not only did he put in a stellar performance when Antoine Dupont got injured and ended up seeing out the rest of the game, he came in this game with that experience, with that eye, his creativity, his vision. He was quick on the ball. His ability to manage the game, tempo of the game was just on point, and he dictated how this game went and how it flowed. So ultimately, yes, France missed Dupont, but are they becoming solely reliant on Dupont? No. The quality that they have means that you can have Dupont outside of the squad and still have players like Maxime Lucu, Nolan Lagarek fill in for his position, right? You have players when Intermac was out. You have Jalibert that can come in. You have Thomas Ramos that can come in. There are so many different players. I mean, Serien didn't even make the bench, and he could have filled in for Dupont, and Serien would have made any bench, well, almost any single international side's starting 15. Never mind, not even making it to selection. So the quality that's coming from this French side is ridiculous. Their talent, plus the talent that's coming through top 14 in Division 2, we are seeing ridiculous talent that is just flowing through, and then it's just seeping in to that French national side. So within the next 2 years, France are going to be so scary, and I don't even want to think about how dangerous BLBRA is going to be in 2027 when the World Cup comes around. But guys, party on. The French, I love you guys. I love your rugby. Please like and subscribe. And congratulations is the biggest thing that I can potentially say from the bottom of my heart. Congratulations. You guys deserved it. You guys deserve the way you play. You guys deserve praise. You guys do not deserve hate in any way. You guys play some brilliant rugby, and have a brilliant night. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. I will be doing a review of the Six Nations as well, which will probably be coming out tomorrow. But guys, enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing the rest of the season. Bye.